Steve Prescott at full-back, Joey Hayes, Scott Gibbs, Paul Loughlin and Anthony Sullivan at the three-quarters, Carl Hammond and Bobby Golding the half-back pairing, Adam Fogarty, Kieran Cunningham and Bernard Dwyer in the front row, Ian Pickavance, Via Matautia and Chris Joynt the back three.
On the fifth tackle, it'll go back to Parker for the kick. Pressure put on Parker. Hayes on the far side, had the sun in his eyes, but didn't want it bounce up kindly for him, Ronnie.
Yes, it did, Daniel, and it's always awkward with this high sun over to our left, just at the back of this popular side stand. You don't half get the sun down there, and Hayes took it well. It's on to Gibbs, out injured from the clash midweek as Fogarty breaks through, Loughlin with him, Sullivan's on his outside, oh, and Sullivan's in! What a start for the Saints! 1 minute and 10 seconds!
We've had 50 or 60 points put up us here. I hope that won't be the result this afternoon. That's a superb kick from Golding.
Halifax forced to defend. David Campbell gets his team against the Halifax side, back on side, and Fogarty powers through. Saints move it right, Golding, Matautia brushes through the tacklers, room on the right hand side, but he's brought down just short of the 20. Last one of this set of 6, Golding, out to Prescott, back to Golding, he can't take it, but the ball's come back. Halifax have possession, well covered there by Halifax.
Got it on his left, Halifax, 30 metres out from the Saints post. Harrison drops it out the back to Anderson, he gets it away one-handed to Parker. Support from Umanga, the full-back, long way to go for the corner, turns it back inside to Gillespie. An instant reply from Halifax. Golding kicks off to the bottom corner, it's an awkward bounce. Tuilagi got his foot to it.
Bonfire night today, and the fireworks will be down on the pitch, won't they? Steve Prescott beat it to Ian Pickavance. The Pickavance drives through the Halifax defence, takes it up to the 20. Cunningham at dummy half. He brings it blindside. Chris Joynt runs out wide. Joynt nearly scooted through his man. Sullivan was on his outside, finally brought down. Golding running the angles, brings Bernard Dwyer in, and Dwyer is 8 metres short. The score's all tied, 6 points apiece. Tightly contested game, early minutes yet. Hammond, Matautia on the opposite diagonal. Matautia again. Oh, lovely work. Joynt has the ball knocked out of his hand, and it's come back to a Halifax player.
Halifax almost smelling the St Helens whitewash. Numbers over here. Wrong man perhaps in the position there, Carl Harrison, but Paul Loughlin was offside. And it's a chance for Schuster to put Halifax into the lead. He's judged it perfectly. It goes through the middle.
After a good win, 50 points to 34, they want to see how the Saints fare. Both sides with tough games. And Fogarty now with the possession. Midway between the halfway and the Halifax 20. Hammond. Ian Pickavance looking to get one out the back door. He does so to Kieran Cunningham. But the Halifax cover quickly in. Pickavance attacked it half. Straightens up, drives into the Halifax 20, turns round, looking for support, nobody with him. He looks in disgust, but the Saints have to build up again. Loughlin, and to Sullivan, yes, Sullivan's in. Well, Halifax caught napping there.
Halifax win the scrum just inside the Saints half. Amone, straightening up centre field, can he get away? Still trying to struggle off Prescott, pops it up for Umanga. It's 20 metres to go, Pickavance won't catch him, and Umanga's going to go under the post. Parker to Anderson, Anderson with that kick towards Hayes again. Hayes makes a meal of it, and Matautia took that one in an offside position. Well, it should be, and it is. It's another 2 points for Halifax. Fifth tackle, back to Parker for the kick. Parker this time opting for the high one. Referee Campbell making sure the Halifax players kept back the 10 yards, and it was no problem for Prescott.
Yes, he took it well, under a lot of pressure. Here's Ramone following him, now it's with Joey Hayes. Rowley, the second man in there, along with the Baldwin, another man that came from Lee to Thrum Hall with Steve Sims. Now it's Bernard Dwyer, looking to release it, excellent clamp tackling. The Saints tackling will have to tighten up, that's what's been letting them down. As Matautia bursts through, pulls his feet, tries to pass round the man, but Halifax do the business. Grant Anderson was there, but it's Saints charging forward. Joint straightens up, Jen loses his footing, he's 10 metres short. The last tackle of the sequence, 16 points to 10, Halifax lead. Saints need to score next. Brought centre field, Golding, out to Prescott. Prescott gets it away to Hammond. Hammond lofted ball on the far side to Joey Hayes. Hayes into the corner. The referee's given a forward pass. Pickavance looking for support again. Cunningham was with him. Cunningham breaks quickly from the acting half-back position. Diagonal run. Run comes in crossfield now. Up to the 20. Last one of the sequence. Hammond a dummy half to Golding. Golding there, closed down, chips it over the top, comes for the return ball, can't take it, and Halifax have the possession. Obviously Halifax and Park and that they work together, but that move there just not coming to fruition. Steve Prescott coming over to the wing, has to turn inside. Tuilagi there completed the tackle. Joey Hayes comes through again. Tuilagi comes in again. He's revelling in this debut here at Knowsley Road for Halifax, isn't he? In the senior squad. Matautia, as you said at half-time, Donald, certainly not piercing this Halifax defence, but the tackling's been good. Oh, pinpoint pass there to Joint. Took it well. Golding converted it. Schuster kicks off. And Saints now back to square one. Scott Gibbs, first man in. Catridge there along with Rowley. Now it's Joey Hayes. Powerful wingman Joey Hayes. Now it's with Fogarty. Ian Pickavance running well. Obviously fierce competition for places as the ball's reaped out there clearly. Harrison there comes and shakes his head again. Bernard Dwyer, the first man in, drives up to the 20. The Saints now deep, coming running from deep. Fogarty, well taken by Jackson. First man in, and Parker also in at the action. Golding on to Joint again, looking for support. Quick transference of the ball. Saints spread it out. Now it's with Steve Prescott, threading his way through, 10 metres short, right in front of the sticks. Saints play quickly. Cunningham, can he push the defence off? Can he touch down? Well, the try's given. He's given the try.
Was making some gesture as to the downward motion rule. As you say, the view was obstructed, so we'll have to look at that on the replay to see what happened. It looked as though it actually dropped it, but it'll be on the replay. It'll be clearer on the replay. So perhaps a bit of controversy again with David Campbell.
Well, maybe so. All part and parcel of our game. Harrison going in there, and Rowley trying to wrestle Matautia down. Claims for a high tackle, but the initial tackle going off the chest. The ball carrying, now the ball carrying hand. Golding gets it away to Joint. Saints move it left, inside to Loughlin. Inside to Pickavance, I beg your pardon. On to Loughlin. Loughlin forced down just inside the 20. Saints now move it across. Halifax forced on the back foot. Matautia coming through, slips it up to Hammond. Oh, superb rugby, just what the Saints spectators want. Golding again, lofted ball, that's all on. Well, it would have been all on if Saints had come up with it. With Saints on the charge again. They have ball possession from the scrum. Loughlin and Hammond exchange passes. The ball's knocked down, it's charged down. What will the referee rule? Well, Joey Hayes comes back, and Joey Hayes scampers away. Hayes on the outside, well taken. Superb rugby from this youngster. Dwyer, he moves it to the left. Saints again, hungry for points. Joint in the clear, just as his ankle's tapped again. Good cover defence by Halifax. Try saving tactics. Hammond, short ball there, the ball loose again. Halifax have the possession. They've withstood the storm, Donald, and what a storm of barrage it's been from the Saints. The ball's loose again. Has Fogarty scored? It must be a try. Yes, he's given it.
Saints needed the first try, and they've got the first three. Well, the strangest Campbell signal that Halifax should have possession. Of course, Golding should put it in. But Saints now with the advantage. And I've seen so many times before they started to get the upper hand and run riot now, Ronnie.
Yeah, I thought he'd give Halifax feed. I thought he'd pointed that way. But Saints keep it going now. Scott Gibbs gives the dummy. Brings Joey Hayes in on the inside. Roll is there along with one of the tacklers, along with Asa Amoni. Cunningham, goal in along the line. Halifax down to 12 men, one man injured in the Saints half. Pickavans, Lachlan gives the dummy, comes back inside. He's still striding through. Oh, lovely ball to Hammond. And Hammond touches down behind the sticks.
Kettridge is a kicker, perhaps in the way. Briggs manages to clear the line, but only down to Prescott on the St Helens quarter line.
And Saints nearly getting a little bottom up there. Steve Prescott with Joey Hayes, but he managed to scamper away. He's brought down just short of the halfway line. 34 points to 16. Saints in the lead, 25 minutes of the game left. Pickavans turns in the tackle. He drives again. Oh, he's up to the twin. Oh, Pickavans, what a try! What a superb effort! Brilliant try from this second row man.
I said at the beginning, Steve Sims will have told them the work's not done and there's another 40 minutes. And it looks like it's going to be a very long 40 minutes for Halifax.
And Knowsley has come on as a replacement for Scott Gibbs. And Cunningham breaks again, brings it over to the right. Tries to give a short ball, which if Jointer had taken it would have been forward. He overrun it altogether there. He has, Darrell, there's no danger about that. Clearly visible. Lost his composure. Just a couple of things going the wrong way. And he was just remonstrating with Fogarty there when Fogarty and Matautia came in for the tackle. It's just things obviously aren't going Halifax way, and the captain, he's the leader, and he's got to try and rally his side and get them going. We noticed that on Friday night when Sean Edwards, his bottom lip was going. Oh, Sullivan breaks through. Oh, and there's no hold in the Saints, is there? Sullivan in for his third. That's his third hat-trick of the season. But Saints have hit back in superb style with 6 tries in the opening 20 minutes, and what a conversion, what a superb conversion. 6 out of 6 in this second half from Golden. Top of the table, bottom of the table, you've got to keep going, keep charging forward. And a little flare up there, Carl Harrison involved. Referee right in on the job. Harrison's going to be spoken to, and he's reaching for his pocket. He's giving the red card. They're in their own 20. 12-man Halifax pressing up. And unfortunately, as they're a one-man down, they've got to try and press up. They caught quickly. Saints break quickly. Andy Knowsley down the wing. 10 metres inside the Halifax half. Hayes at dummy half. Inside to Golden. He'll take charge now. Good ball to Cunningham. Cunningham sidesteps. Matautia's there. Matautia pushes up. And Matautia is under the sticks. And Golden's elated. Cunningham's delighted. And Matautia scores the try.
Well, it's just going from bad to worse for Halifax. Schuster, I think, a cut around the eye. He must have taken the boot as he went into tackle. Although that's being favourable, because there's not many of these Halifax players tackling in the second half. As they walk back to halfway there, they will have seen the supporters leaving for the exit, and I think there's 1 or 2 of these Halifax players wishing they could go with them.
Yes, maybe so, the old Wigan walk, as we call it down here. But Saints now still running with a purpose. Chris Joint tries to pass round the man. He does, he slips it to Sullivan, and Sullivan comes in for his 4th.
St Helens defenders moving out. Rowley from acting half, a long pass might create something. Tuilagi will go around Joey Hayes.
And unfortunately couldn't take it, but Saints win possession from the scrum. Paul Lachlan coming in to a diagonal Carl Hammond pass. He unloads to Bernard Dwyer. Out now to Pickavans. Pickavans off again. Jigging, bobbing and weaving. Turns it inside. Cunningham, Joint. Inside pass again. Sullivan looking for his 5th. Turns it inside to Chris Morley. Saints moving downfield, and good tackling by Halifax on the far side. Force Morley into touch. Grant Anderson puts it down this wing. Prescott will chase it, plays it. Rowley comes to meet him. Prescott sidesteps, past 3, moves it over to the left. Step Prescott down the middle. He's still driving down up to the halfway line. 30-metre burst from Steve Prescott there. Out to Joint. Lofty ball to Loughlin. Turns it back inside. Well, yes, it looked. I was going to say it looked forward, Daniel. I thought the referee was playing on, but obviously he'd stopped the play.
Adventurous play by Halifax, but all too late. Gillespie to Slicker. Slicker looking to get it away. The thew to South. Another dismal performance for Halifax. It looked as though they were going to be hammered after the first minute for the way St Helens opened. They put some respectability and they got themselves into the lead at half-time. But as I said at the beginning of this half running, there was 40 minutes to go. And it was all St Helens in the second 40 minutes.